Gangstalking is particularly cruel. Um, it just doesn't let up, you know? Now, of course, it's cruel, you know? It's sabotaging your life, sabotaging your relationships with acquaintances, neighbors, family, friends, co-workers, things of that nature. But it's also more than that. So yes, gangstalking will sabotage your revenue making, your job opportunities, and will render you broke, or will at the very least will compromise you financially. But that's not enough. If you try things to make your situation better, they will compromise that as well. And if you make the wrong decisions and start doing things that are either immoral, illegal, then they will get people in your circle to shame you for it, even though the situation was actually created by them. They could do something as cruel as infest your home with pests and then get your friends and family to start shaming you behind the scenes, sometimes to your face for being dirty, for example. I mean, there's like a level of cruelty in that kind of action that is just it's hard to it's hard to grasp, it's hard to understand, it's hard to believe. And the reason why it's so hard to understand and believe is because most of the people that are involved with gang stalking, most of the victims, they're completely innocent. They haven't done anything to deserve being gang stalked in the first place. It would be like walking down the street, picking out a random person, stripping them down naked, and then having everybody around make fun of them for being naked. This person is not naked by choice. Someone took their clothes, and now everybody around is just pointing their finger at them, saying all kinds of things because this person is not. Do you understand what I'm saying? The level of cruelty that is there. But there's also another level, another layer of cruelty to it because no one's going to believe you that this is all orchestrated in the first place. Everyone is either going to think that, you don't have a job, it's your fault. You have money issues, it's your fault. Your house is infested with pests, it's your fault. No one is going to think, someone is sabotaging you. This is happening to you because a group of individuals have targeted you. And if they were to believe that, then the following rational thought would be to think that you did something. You did something to deserve it because no one in their right minds would attack you for no reason. So there's definitely not going to be a group of people that are going to attack you for no reason, right? So a lot of times what basically happens is that the original gang stalkers are really attacking you for no reason. And then the people that are recruited will start to attack you for situations that were created by the original gang stalkers, with whether it be, your financial situation is in shambles, so you did something that is immoral or illegal, or through the sabotaging of your life, it has created turmoil. You have emotion and you lash out in anger, in desperation. And, you know, the people that are recruited, they don't see the original sabotaging of your life. They don't see the original attack. They just see your reaction to it. And they think, yeah, you deserve it. And then when you tell people what is happening to you, they think the same thing. They either think, you know, you're crazy, or well, you probably deserve it. You did something. You're not telling me the whole story. When in fact the whole story is some psychopath has chosen to destroy my life and has this sort of master plan that you would never imagine someone possible of thinking up, and is just recruiting people, like recruiting sometimes your own family in the whole master plan to destroy you. I mean, it's such an unbelievable experience. You know, no movie has ever written a villain so well, you know, compared to a gang stalker or like the original gang stalker that basically runs your whole downfall, if you will. Sometimes I try to sit on the outside of my situation and sort of look at it from just a third person viewer, right? And I mean, it's it, it really is something to look at it with no emotion, no attachment to it, and just think, this is this is unbelievable. I mean, the level of malice that has to be in someone's heart to do this to a, first of all, a completely innocent person who has done nothing, and more than likely a really good person, actually, and just pile on for years and wait until this person is going through rough patches to pile on even more, or wait until someone is going through until their victims are actually going through good moments to pile, like for example in my case, on my wedding day I got attacked. When I broke up with my ex, before before I got married, I got attacked right after it as well. I lost my business. There's really I mean, I think it just needs to be studied how psychopathy has gone from someone just being harmful to others to where they're really manipulating others into joining their cult, into harming a person that really doesn't deserve it, but everybody in it is just convinced that yes, they do deserve it, because from their point, that's all that they see, and even if you were to explain how it first happened, they wouldn't believe you. And at this point, honestly, it wouldn't matter anymore, because they've been so involved in it and have committed so many crimes against you that admitting or believing your version of the story would mean that they're a criminal now, and not only a criminal, but that they're a bad person because they're attacking a person that was innocent at the origin of the story. I don't know. In moments where I'm able to get over myself and just look at the situation from the outside looking in, without feeling all the emotion that come with being in it, it feels like a movie, like a really well written movie. I haven't worked up the courage to watch any movies that pertain to gang stalking. I know there's a couple out there actually. If you want to drop it in the comments, I might want to get started on that. But a book needs to be written about this kind of situation. A movie needs to be made about this particular situation. I hate that the image that we have is like controlled by outlets like Vice, who make us look like nut jobs. And of course, there are people who have a voice, but you know, they just don't have all the information, or they just go into these things that I would consider to be the supernatural. I have my beliefs, obviously. I don't talk about them because I feel like it's not necessarily relevant to everybody. But I have my beliefs. I just hate when people who talk about our situation start to get into the supernatural of it, because it makes us kind of lose credibility. And when I say lose credibility, I mean towards the people who just are not believers, or who don't believe that this has anything to do with um, this. Anyways, I was gonna make a video about a situation that pissed me off today and name some people, and I decided to go against that because these are people I love. They just happened to piss me off today. So this is it. This is the war against narcissism, guys. So take care.